What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Call Her Creator, powered by Stan. If you are listening to audio, I'm happy to report that we are now back on video. You can catch all of these episodes over on YouTube. So I hope if you're that visual learner that needs to see somebody talking, head over to my YouTube channel, The Katelyn Rhodes, and you'll be able to access all of our episodes moving forward through video and audio. Now, I've been waiting for this episode, been holding it in, I've been feeling it. And if you're listening to this right now, I genuinely believe that you were meant to hear this. Today kicks off something brand new, something we've never done on this podcast before, something that I honestly feel is going to shift the entire trajectory of how you walk into next year, how you walk into 2026. So if you haven't heard yet, we're starting a 6-week reinvention challenge. 6 weeks to wake up the part of you that you've been ignoring. Maybe you need to rebuild your routine. Maybe you need to step into that future version of yourself and you're so ready to meet her, but you just don't know where to start, where to begin. Maybe you need some girlies on the side that are holding you accountable, that are holding your hand. I'm here for you. We're going to do this together. This is our 6-week reinvention challenge. It's totally free. And listen, you can listen to the podcast and get a ton of value, but if you want to be inside this experience, if you want daily reminders, the journal prompts, the check-ins, and the accountability, then make sure you join the Create Her Club over on my Instagram, Call Her Creator. I've got a new broadcast Instagram channel up. It's called Create Her Club. And it's basically just going to be where we all meet for this 6-week reinvention challenge. And then from there, who knows what that club's going to turn into. It's going to be an intimate little group of us girls that are ready to elevate, ready to level up, ready to do something different and walk into 2026 as that girl. That's what we're doing over there. So pause this episode right now. Go make sure you join Create Her Club. It's the broadcast channel on Instagram. Call Her Creator. All right, so this is where everything's going to be happening. That's where the challenge is going to live. That's where you will live for the next 6 weeks. So if you haven't joined yet, like I said, pause this episode and go ahead and get into Creator Club over on Instagram. All right, now that you're officially in, let's talk about why this challenge even exists and what you have to look forward to. All right, I'm going to be honest with you guys. This wasn't born from a cute idea. This wasn't some marketing plan. This wasn't, a challenge could be fun. It was born because I needed reinvention. Like this was born because I hit a moment where I realized I'm being pulled into a new era, a new me, and I'm still living like that old version of me. So if you feel like that, if you feel tired, overwhelmed, unaligned, stretched thin, messy on the inside, maybe you're stuck in some patterns that you know aren't serving you anymore, then you're in the right place because that is where your girl has been for the past couple weeks, months, this year. I've been working on everything, but I finally was like, okay, I need to put a name to it and really do it so that I can step into this new version of me, walk like her, talk like her, think like her. And I figured there are so many other women out there that need to do the same. So why don't we do it together? So that is what this 6-week reinvention challenge is all about. Hey friend, welcome back to Call Her Creator, powered by your all-in-one creator store, Stan. Stan is the easiest way for you to make money online. All of your courses, digital products, and bookings are hosted within your link in bio. If you're ready to start your free trial, visit my show notes and click my affiliate link to get started today. Okay, let's drop in. We're going to start by taking a breath. Actually, if you're driving, don't do this, but if you're walking, close your eyes just for a second, okay? I want you to imagine the woman that you are supposed to become by now. The one that you pictured when you were younger, the one you thought you'd grow into, the one you know is still inside of you somewhere in that heart of yours. Now imagine she's standing right in front of you, okay? Does she look like you? Does she feel like you? Does she wake up excited? Does she carry herself differently? Does she have more confidence than you? How does she speak? Does she tolerate less than what you're tolerating right now? Does she expect more from people, from business, from herself? Does she show up with that confidence that you haven't felt in years? Because today, girlfriend, right here, right now, we're waking that girl up. This episode is not just a podcast. This is the moment that you're going to decide for yourself. I'm done abandoning myself. I'm done shrinking, done waiting. I'm done surviving. I'm done living on autopilot. And if your whole body just excelled, good. You're in the right place because you're safe here. You are safe with me. I'm the safest girly you could be friends with. You're supported here, and you're about to meet that woman that you were always meant to be. And I am so excited to meet that woman for myself because I've been carrying some heavy things lately. I've got people in my life that I'm letting treat me not in the best way, that I'm ready to just let that go. I'm tired of abandoning myself for these other people. And so I think this is just the time to step into that. There's clients that overstep what we offer them, what's included in their services, scope creep and all that stuff. So I'm done abandoning myself in those situations as well. All of it, business, personal, all the things. Ooh, we're stepping into her, okay? So let me take you back to a moment in my life that I've never fully talked about on the podcast. It wasn't glamorous. It wasn't powerful. It wasn't one of those shiny highlight reels that you see over on Instagram. It was just a typical day of the week, completely ordinary. It was probably a Tuesday and Wednesday. It was midweek. The kids were being chaotic as always. The morning felt rushed. I had a ton of client deadlines. I hadn't eaten breakfast yet. Couldn't even find my coffee. I was probably, just like this morning, I reheated my coffee 4 times. And I remember walking into my office space, and if you could even call it that at the time, it was our back room. And I just kind of sat there and I thought, is this it? Is this how I'm meant to feel? Like I'm supposed to be chasing my dreams and, oh, entrepreneurship, you should be so happy. But I did not feel that way. I was exhausted. I was reactive. I was stressed. I felt like I was behind, even though on paper it looked good. I felt behind. I felt like I was constantly trying to prove to them something. Don't know what it was, but I was just trying so hard to prove, going all in, constantly giving the world a watered down version of myself. And then I had this moment, the split second realization where I felt like it was like an out of body experience, where you're watching yourself. And I didn't recognize who that girl was. And I could tell that she was tired, and I could tell that she was stretched thin. She was successful, but she didn't look successful. She had everything she wanted, but she didn't feel like the woman who could hold it. And then it hit me that I had become a version of myself that was built from survival and not abundance and expansion. I was still being loyal to an identity that was getting in my way. I remember thinking Katelyn, you're running a business, you're raising kids, you're coaching entrepreneurs, you're speaking on stages, you're still living like you're in your 20s though. You're just trying to figure it all out. You've got this scarcity mindset. And that version of me, I don't hold anything against her. The girl I was at 18, 20, she served me. She got through what she had to get through. She did. She got me here. She built the foundation. She made me super duper gritty and resourceful and basically unstoppable. But I've outgrown her. And I never slowed down enough to really admit that to myself. I think a lot of us women do this too. We outgrow our identity long before we outgrow our life. And that's where reinvention begins, with self-honesty. So it's not who am I supposed to be, but who have I stopped allowing myself to be, right? That story right there, hopefully that story grounds you a little bit and you can kind of relate. Have you ever felt like you're watching yourself out of body? Maybe you're not happy where you're, maybe you've got a job you hate, or maybe you're in a relationship that's not serving you. That could be a romantic relationship. That could be a friendship. That could be a family dynamic. But you know that is not serving you anymore, but you're kind of stuck and you're not sure how you can move forward. So let's shift into the truth that you need to hear today, because this episode has 2 energies to it. There's an awakening energy, and then there's the activation. So part 2 of all of this is where we're going to go a little bit deeper. So before we get to part 2, I just want you to take a moment to tell yourself that you're proud of yourself and you're thankful for the things that you've been through, and you had to do the things you had to do to get you to where you are now, but that's not what's going to take you to the next level. And I can tell you that from personal experience. I know that hustling out of scarcity and chaos and fight or flight and building the business that I have, there is no way that I can continue to work that way and gain success and still be there for my family and my kids and my friends and my employees. So I know that I've got to shed that part of me, just like you have to shed the old part of whoever you are, the part that we're going to elevate out of. So close your eyes, look her in the face, thank her for what she's done. Thank you for getting me here. Hug her. And now we're just going to blow a kiss and say, on to bigger and better things. And she is smiling at you because she's proud of you for taking this next step. So let's go there. I want to talk about the part of you that you've been ignoring. And you know exactly what I'm talking about as you're listening to this. The version of you that whispers instead of screams. The part of you that says, I want more, or I really miss myself, or I'm tired of feeling this way. Or maybe you just know that you're meant for something bigger, or, you know, maybe you say things like, I know this isn't the life I was built for. But the thing about all of that is women are professional silencers. We silence our desires. We silence our intuition. We silence our anger. We silence our needs, our burnout moments, our dreams, our hunger, our ambition, all of it. We silence it. And it's not because we're not strong enough to handle it. It's not because we're weak, but it's just because we're so busy. And we just feel like, oh, I don't have time for that. Oh, I'll get to it. Oh, let me just get to next week and I'll be fine. Oh, let me just do this and I'll be fine. That is literally the story of my life. And I know that's literally the story of all of our lives as women who are carrying so many different things. Even if you don't have kids right now, maybe you're carrying other things and you're just like, oh, I'll get to it next week. But do you get to it next week, or do you put it off again? Or do you get to it next week and you rush through it? Because that's where I'm at. I might get to it, but it's not how I really want to do it because I'm rushing through it or something like that to go on to the next thing. So we're raising kids, we're running businesses, we're keeping households alive, we're holding emotions that aren't even ours. And we're holding people together. We're holding everything together, honestly. So some of you might work a full-time job, maybe you run a side business, maybe you take care of your kids, maybe you take care of parents, maybe you take care of your friends, and then you still apologize for not being more productive. Does that sound like you? Does that also sound like insanity to you? Because that's what that is. We numb because we don't have the capacity to actually hear ourselves. And I want to say something that I don't think enough women hear, but this is it. This is how I feel about this. You didn't abandon yourself because you're irresponsible. You abandoned yourself because you were just trying to survive. But survival is not where we're going anymore. We are letting that go. This next version of you, she is not built from survival. She is built from intention and clarity, and she is built from desire. If you can, if you're in a place, I want you to put a hand on your chest. And I just want you to take a deep breath. And I want you to notice something when you do that. Underneath all that stress, underneath the routines, underneath the expectations, there is a part of you that's still alive, and she's hopeful, and she's hungry, and she's dreaming. She didn't ever leave you. She just went quiet. She backed up. She got small, but she's still there. And today, right now, is when she gets to come back. So the woman inside of you that you haven't met yet, she's there, okay? You know what I think is so powerful about this too is most women really have no idea who they actually are. They only know who they've become due to the survival or due to whatever it is they were having to do to survive the season that they were in. But underneath that is the real you. And let me explain to you what the real you looks like. And you tell me if you do that now, okay? So does who you are today, does she speak clearly? Or does she like mumble and say, I mean, maybe we could blah, blah, blah. Like, does she really speak her truth? Does she speak clearly? Does she walk confidently? Or does she slouch and hang over and, scoot her feet? Or is she walking with her head back? She's got that swag. She's in some Louboutin heels. I wish I don't have any of those, but I want some one day. The girl hidden underneath all of you, she knows what she wants. She does not tolerate the bare minimum. She trusts herself. She chooses herself. She doesn't apologize for things that she shouldn't apologize for. She doesn't explain her standards. She doesn't hide the potential inside of her, that magic. She doesn't dim it down. She doesn't dim that light. She doesn't carry everyone else's emotional weight. That woman is not a fantasy. She's not someone you grow into. She is someone that you just need to remember. Reinvention is not about becoming a different person. And I need you all to really hear me on that. We are not going to change you. We're just going to wake up the woman you were meant to be, like the biggest, baddest, bestest version of you. We are not changing you. We are not creating this fake alternative of you. We are just waking up the woman you were supposed to be. So there's a few reasons that you could be stuck and not embracing the woman that you're supposed to be. And the biggest reason for all of this is that you're unaligned. Your life right now is built around an identity that you've outgrown. You're living with maybe routines that you don't connect to anymore. You're following habits that no longer match your standards. You're reaching for things that you shouldn't be reaching for anymore. You're reacting to your life instead of leading it. So let's just break this down for a second. Like, you're living with routines you don't even connect to anymore. Is there something that you're still doing that is, one, maybe not serving you anymore, or two, it's actually detrimental to who you want to become? Like, I mean, this could be little things like, I don't know, maybe you used to go on walks and you're not doing them anymore. Or maybe you used to go to Pilates and you kind of just stopped. Or maybe you used to read your Bible before bed. Maybe you've picked up bad habits. Maybe little things. Maybe you're letting the dishes sit in the sink longer than normal and your kitchen is starting to smell. Or maybe you picked up smoking cigarettes and they're not good for you. Little things like that. Like, what are some of the things that you realize that you're doing that this best, baddest version of you would be like, girl, that ain't it. If you have a moment, you're at home listening to this, or you could pull out your notes app, write down some things that, not to shame yourself, but maybe some things that you're doing right now in your routine that bring you shame, or you're not proud of, or it's just a bad habit, like, and that you want to let go of them. So maybe in your notes, like, things I want to let go of for 2026. And you can list down a few things that you don't want to bring into 2026. I know for myself, some of the things that I would like to release are a lot of like saying sorry when I don't mean it. I'm so sick of being like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God, I'm always sorry. Why are you always sorry, girl? Like, I really want to work on that. I know that's a little thing, but I would love to work on that. I haven't been to Pilates in months. And I'm paying for membership. I can't get out of it either because I signed up for a year-long membership. So I'm literally wasting hundreds of dollars a month. So I'd love to get back into going to Pilates or yoga twice a week. I think that would be really good for my mind, body, spirit. Church. We haven't been to church in a while. I would also like to get back into church. So think of some things that maybe you're not doing anymore, or maybe that you are doing that's not good for you, and just kind of write them down as in, hey, I don't want to do this anymore for 2025. When 2026 comes here, we're letting it go. So write those things down. It's not failure that you're doing these things. It's just a sign. It's a calling or like a nudge from God or the universe. It's your higher self kind of tapping you on their shoulder saying, hey, I'm ready when you are. Let's let this shit go. Let's move forward. Let's be our best. So once you've thought about this stuff, kind of reflected over it, I want to ask you something. And this is a more powerful question. And this is you're probably going to need a good 24, 48 hours for this one. But what is your soul craving right now? Like, really, really think about what your soul wishes for. And I don't want like a logical answer. I don't want a Pinterest board answer. I don't even want a Chat GPT answer. I want like a real answer there. Is it more peace? I know mine is peace. I literally made a bracelet for myself that says peaceful era because all I want is peace, and I want to rid my heart of any chaos or fight or flight. So my biggest thing for 2026 is peace. But some of you already have peace. Maybe you need more excitement. Not chaos, but excitement. Maybe some of you are struggling with your confidence, whether that's in business or personal or your romantic life, but you need more confidence. Maybe some of you feel lost without any kind of purpose. So maybe you want more purpose or more structure in your life. Maybe you need systems and routines to give yourself a more structured daily or weekly routine. Maybe some of you need more softness. Maybe you're so uptight and angry that you just need more slow, soft. Maybe you just need to release a little bit. Maybe some of you really just need more money. Maybe you're struggling and you know in 2026 that you want to make more money. So maybe money is something that you need. Maybe you need more freedom. Maybe you are way too structured or have way too much on your plate and you need more freedom. All of these things are totally like, you might need all of these things. I want you to really put one big one at the top because that's what's going to be your goal for the next 6 weeks with me. But go ahead. I mean, if you can choose as many of these as you want, but I do want you to write it down because your cravings are not random. It's going to actually help us with your next instructions for all of this. The desire inside of you is not just this messy chaos. It's actually clarity and directions for what's next. So it's kind of like your guidance. It's your future self trying to communicate with you. So the part of you that wants more isn't selfish. It's just she's awakened and she's telling you what you want. I'm a big believer in signs and fate and listening to little things. So like if I were you and I didn't know what I was really wanting, I might go sit outside and like literally touch grass and close my eyes and just feel the sun on my face and listen to the wind and just dig really deep into what it is that's hurting inside. And then maybe think of the opposite of what that is. That's probably what you need. Don't get on ChatGPT. I don't need you doing ChatGPT. It is a great resource. I use it daily, but I really want you to use your feelings and your hearts for this reinvention challenge. So if you need a second here, feel free to pause this part of the episode as you think about things that you want to awaken, but we're going to change gears now. Okay. So before we change gears, we're going to take one more breath because I feel like we're starting to awaken the person that we're becoming and we've acknowledged her. We're feeling her out. And now it's time for the part that's going to truly change your life and change your whole direction for 2026. And that's the truth. The part that might sting a little too, like this might be a little bit hurtful, not hurtful. I don't want it to be hurtful, but it might ache. Your heart might ache a little bit as we go through this part, but it's going to activate you. So don't run away. But when you're ready, after you've taken that deep breath, we're going to move into part 3. And that is the activation. That's the tough love and the identity shift. Okay. All right. So now that we've softened, we've taken deep breaths, we've awakened what's inside of you, it's time to have the conversation that might make you uncomfortable. Because awakening without accountability, that's just inspiration. You're just inspiring. You've got this Pinterest board, you got that vision board, but you have to actually do the things that are on there. Okay. We're going to take action. And that's what the 6-week reinvention challenge is. And that's why I want you guys inside of the Create Her Club broadcast channel on Instagram. So if you did not do it earlier in the episode, take a second right now and go to Call Her Creator on Instagram. And at the very top of my profile, you're going to see something. It's like a little bubble and it'll say Create Her Club. And if you click on that, that is the broadcast channel and you can join us inside. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to be dropping inspiration for you guys on a weekly basis. We're going to have little tasks to do. And I'm not trying to sell anything to you. This is a totally free challenge just to level yourself up. And I'm going to be dropping in podcast episodes each week too, kind of like this. That's almost like it's not like guided meditation, but it's almost like your guide to the challenge. Like I'm going to teach you everything that you need to do. And all you have to do is give me an hour of your time each week. An hour of your time to transform into the best version of yourself. Like sign me up for free. Hell to the yes. This is so good. And if you have someone in your life, that's struggling or they're feeling some kind of pain or they're just not feeling like themselves, please recommend this episode to them. We need to spread this positivity out. And this is how we make the world a better place, by encouraging women to be their best selves. So, all right, let's keep going. You cannot get a new life with the same patterns of your old life. If you want a new life, you have to become a new person, a new woman. And I know that sounds super cliche, and I'm almost starting to feel like Brene Brown here, and I am not Brene Brown, but there is actually neuroscience in all of this. Your identity creates your behavior, okay? Your behavior creates your habits, and your habits create your results. So like, if you think about who you want to be, that's why I asked you in the beginning, like, who do you want to be? What is she doing? What is she wearing? So your identity creates her behavior. What is she doing? And then once you understand what she's doing, then you can probably guess what her daily habits are, what her weekly habits look like, what her monthly habits look like, what is she doing on a quarterly basis. And then from there, you can kind of see, okay, if she's doing this, this, and this is probably her results at the end of the year or throughout the year. The life you're living right now was built by a version of you that no longer exists. So if you want that new and improved and fresh version of yourself, you're going to have to do the things and activate that part of yourselves. And if you keep letting the old you run the show, you're going to keep getting the same results. There's a quote out there, keep doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results. That's called insanity. I totally just butchered that quote because I'm so bad at remembering things, but you know what I'm talking about. And it's like those girlfriends that you have that come crying to you over the terrible men that they're dating, and then they break up and they're like, oh yeah, new me, new woman, I'm never doing that again. And then next week they're with the same guy, or they're with the new guy but with the same tendencies, and you're just like, you're insane. You're literally doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. You are certified insane. And I've been there before. I have. But now that I'm 35, I will not be that person again. I will not do the same things over and over again when I've learned a lesson that that's not how you get different results. So if you keep letting her, the old you, run the show, you're going to keep getting those same outcomes. And I do not feel sorry for you. The routines that got you here are not going to get you to your next level. The mindset that got you here is not going to get you to your next level. The boundaries, or lack thereof, are not going to get you to your next level. And the patterns that got you here are absolutely not going to get you to your next level. You truly have to step into that brand new version of yourself, that up-leveled version of yourself. And at some point, you really have to look back at your life and say, I love the woman I've been and I appreciate her, but she is not the woman who will build my next chapter. And I think that's a very soft way to put it, a very gracious way. I'm all about gratitude. And again, we can thank that woman that got you to where you're at because you're surviving, you're here, but we can't just be okay with mediocre. We have to go bigger, better, right? So here's the truth that no one ever says to women. I feel like you're not bad at routine. You're not bad at consistency. You're not confident enough. You're just living a life that isn't aligned with the standards of the woman you know you're meant to be. So alignment isn't just what you do, but alignment is about what you tolerate. So some of you are praying for a breakthrough or you're praying for things to change, but you're tolerating the same fracking habits that are breaking you. Let that sink in too. Like some of you want clarity, but your phone is the first thing you touch in the morning. Some of you want confidence, but you talk to yourself like a bully from high school. Some of you want to feel peace, but you're not setting boundaries with the people who literally drain you or cause chaos. You know, you need to mute those people. You need to block those people. You need to unfollow those people. Pro tip, since I'm a social media expert over here, but if you are worried about blocking those people out because of repercussions of them coming after you, there's actually something you can do on socials that's just like, it's called a snooze button. So, and I've done this a lot this year. You can snooze people, I think it's like for 30 days, and then you can just keep snoozing them every 30 days. So there are people that I would see their post or see their statuses and feel like they were saying something directly towards me and it would hurt my feelings or it would really just make me have a really bad day. So I've started snoozing those people and now I'm not seeing their content anymore. And it is so enlightening to get on social and not have to worry about, oh, am I going to see what they post again? And like, are they going to cause me chaos again? Are they going to freak me out today? Like, no, you snoozed them. Some of you want more money, but you're still moving like the version of you who is scared to sell, or you're not going out there and getting a job, or you're not looking for another job, or you're not asking your boss for a raise, or, you're just letting it be. And that's not bad, but it's misaligned. You are never going to get what you want if you're doing the complete opposite. And I'll say that again. You are never going to get what you want if you're doing the complete opposite. I don't care if you pray on it. I don't care if you put it out into existence. I don't care if you meditate on it. You have to do the things to back it up too. Misalignment is reversible. But again, you have to do the things. And you can't just wait to feel motivated too, because that's just going to kill your growth. You actually have to go out and do it. The only reason I have built this business and this podcast and this following is because I've gone out and done it. I I didn't have the things that other people have in order to grow these big followings. I wasn't fed a silver spoon. I didn't, have a leg up in college. No one paid for shit for me. I had to do everything myself, but I did it. I went out and made it happen. Nothing happened to me. I did it. And so you have to do that for yourself as well. If there's one thing I want you to hear from this episode, it's this: your life changes when you stop waiting for motivation and start moving from identity. And what does that mean? Motivation is a mood, and we're not always going to feel motivated. Today, I did not want to record this podcast, but I knew that it was essential for me to get in here today and record it so that it is ready to go whenever I kick off the 6-week reinvention challenge. So I knew I had to do it, and I just did it. I was not motivated to come here. But identity is a decision, and that's where I'm at. I knew, what do you want, Katelyn? You want to lead these women in business and personal and financial. So I had to make the decision to put on makeup, straighten my hair, get dressed, come in here, set up the podcast room, set up the lights, set up the mic, write this whole script. I'm going to be talking to you guys for an hour by the time this is done. That doesn't come from, oh, it just happened to me. That comes from, I had to make a decision to come do it. Motivation says I'll do it when I feel like it. But identity says I'll do it because this is who I am now. And that is, I live by that quote so much. This is who I am now, so I'm going to do it. And I've lived both of these. I really have. There were times in my life where I waited for motivation. Like, I can think back, I know it sounds silly, but even like college, like I did not do very well my first couple years of college because I kind of skated through high school. I made really good grades. I was in honors classes. I took dual enrollment. But to be honest, I was from a really small town. I swear that our curriculum wasn't hard. I swear. I could be wrong, but I feel like it wasn't that hard. But when I got to college, it was freaking hard. I failed a few classes, actually. I lost my Bright Future scholarship within like 2 semesters in of college, which really sucked because my grandfather had prepaid for college, but it wasn't covering all of my expenses. So I really needed that Bright Futures scholarship. So when I lost that, that was really hard. That was a wrench thrown into my plans. But I was that girl. I thought, oh, like I'll study when I feel like it. And then I'd go and I would flunk those exams. So I learned very quickly, if I don't put in the work, no one's coming for me. No one's going to come save me. I could have gotten just kicked out of college altogether, but I didn't. I turned my grades around, FYI. And I got into UF and I graduated with my bachelor's degree and I did very well for myself. But to start out, I was not like that. But again, I give myself grace because I was 18. But there are times in life and business where you're not going to feel that motivation. You're going to wait until you feel ready. You're going to wait until you have more clarity. You're going to wait until you have the energy. You're going to wait for the perfect window of time. But guess what? The perfect window never comes, ever. You have to create it. When I built Influence Marketing Studio, when I grew my Instagram to 10,000 followers, 20,000 followers, 150,000 followers, I'm almost at 200K followers. When I grew my podcast, when I started speaking, when I launched digital products, when I built new routines, none of that happened from motivation. None of it. It happened because I decided this is who I am now. This is my identity. And when your identity evolves, your actions follow. So the woman you want to be is already inside of you, but she needs you to lead her. So let me say this plainly, and I just said it. I'm going to say it again. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix your problems. No one is coming to fix your routines. No one is coming to organize your life. No one's going to come build your confidence for you. They can't. No one's coming to reinvent you. It has to be you. And it has to be a decision that you fully say like, yep, I'm doing this. You are the one that gets to break the cycle. You're the one who gets to wake up earlier to do the thing. You are the one who has to choose the new habits that you're going to choose to become her. You are the one who has to speak up. You're the one who has to set those tough boundaries. You're the one who has to pick discipline over excuses. You're the one who chooses the next level version of yourself. And here's the really beautiful part about all of this. You've already done it before. You've reinvented yourself so many times. Like, think about your life. When you became a mother, that was reinvention. When you left your job, that was reinvention. When you launched that offer, that was reinvention. When you built that thing, that was reinvention. When you became a coach, a leader, a content creator, that was reinvention. You are not new to reinvention. You're just overdue for another one. You're here to become the girl, that girl. Identity isn't built by saying who you want to be. It's built through the decisions that you make when nobody's watching. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, identity. Every time you choose a habit that supports your future, that's identity. Every time you speak up for yourself, identity. Choose the higher option, identity. Reinvention is just self-loyalty on repeat. Now that I've given you the truth, I want to ground this in real life. So we're coming into part 4 of all of this. I promise we're almost there. I want to share some of the identity shifts that I'm personally making for this challenge because I'm not exempt from any of this. I'm doing this with you guys. I told you I've been feeling it in my bones. I am doing all of this with you for the next 6 weeks. What reinvention looks like in my real life, and then how you can mirror it. That's what we're about to walk through. So I want to bring this down to earth. So let's pull us back down. We were high in the clouds earlier, breathe in, seeing her, meditating, aligning, but now we just bring it back down because it's easy to listen to a podcast and think like, okay, this sounds so amazing. I'm totally about to change my entire life because Katelyn said so, but what does this actually look like in real life? So I'm going to share some personal examples and identity shifts that I'm making and habits that I'm changing and routines that I'm rebuilding because I'm not sitting on some mountain preaching at you. I am deep in the trenches and the valleys too. I'm right here doing this with you. All right. So I told you a story at the beginning. This is another story just about like urgency and chaos. So a few months ago, I had a harsh realization that I was just, my whole life, my whole business was being ran by urgency. Like everything was on fire. This was around like the summertime into September. And my staff felt this too. It was really, really bad. It was really hard, really bad, way too much going on. Everything was on fire. Every notification felt super urgent. Every task felt last minute. Every day just felt like we were catching up and we couldn't breathe. And I was crying a lot. I had no breathing room. I had no ease. I had no space to really like think. And I finally admitted to myself, like, okay, I've built a business that requires me to sprint every single day. And you cannot scale sprinting in a business. You cannot. Even when my income grew, which was really great, and the opportunities grew and my influence grew, I didn't care. I did not care about that money. And this is coming from a girl that used to sell her clothes for grocery store money. Like I've always envisioned money, but at this point, it did not matter to me. My identity, was still this girl hustling through corporate, posting during lunch breaks, managing clients at night and pushing through burnout because she didn't have another option. But that version of me, yeah, she got me here, but she could not keep me going. And I was feeling like her again. So once I started feeling that chaos, I knew it was time to just like, I got to take a break. So you can't really turn your business off when you're feeling bad. I mean, you could, but I was not in a position to. So instead, I did change some things around the business. I stepped back a little bit over the summer. I did audio only podcasts instead of video like this because there's a lot that goes into recording videos for podcasts. So I took a little bit of time from that and did audio only. We limited client intake. I had to fire some people. I had to really like recalibrate everything. And things did slow down for us, thankfully. And I'm starting to get back into the groove again. Things are picking back up again, but I'm okay because I took a second. But that is where this need or want for the reinvention challenge started. It was from me just feeling pure chaos and knowing that that's not a life that you can live. So one of my identity shifts for this 6-week challenge is this. I am no longer the woman who runs on chaos. I am the woman who leads her life with clarity. And here's what that's going to look like in real life for me. I am not going to wake up, which I have not been, but I'm no longer waking up and immediately grabbing my phone. I'm not checking how my reel did the night before. I'm not checking my DMs. I'm not checking my email. I have a slow morning where I get my kids ready for school. I brew my coffee. I let my dog out, sit on the couch. I drink my coffee. I think about things that bring me peace. And then I move into the working time. I'm not saying yes anymore to every single opportunity that comes my way. I used to be a yes girl because I felt really guilty, and I know how it is to get started in business and ask for things and be told no. So I never wanted to do that to others, but now I'm at the point where it's like I have to for my mental space. And I totally get now why these other people told me no in the beginning, because it's really hard to just say yes to every single person because you really never make any time for yourself. So I'm sorry to those of you that I actually secretly got angry at for telling me no, because I totally get it now. I don't fill my day up every second of the day. There was a time where my calendar was packed like hour by hour by hour by hour by hour. And now I just kind of put a little leadway in between so I can breathe. I'm not doing calls every second. There was a time where I was doing coaching calls like so many times a day to where I could not eat, barely drink anything, couldn't breathe. It was terrible. Making good money, but it's a terrible lifestyle. Cut that out real quick. No more reactive mornings. Nothing is going to start my day crappy. And I push that on my kids too, even if my kids and my husband, like if the kids are acting all whack and out of control and stressing my husband, I like have to give him the side eye. Like we can talk to them when they get home from school about their bad behavior. Like don't put it on them right now before they go to school and give them a terrible day at school. So I'm kind of like that too, like no reactiveness to start my mornings. I want peace. So this is the season where I'm shifting into intentional leadership as well over my business, my routine, my energy, my time, myself. And there's one other thing that I'm shifting as well. I was keeping routines that didn't match my goals anymore. So let's see, I'm thinking the one thing where I would wake up and immediately jump into work, I'm not doing that anymore. I'm not skipping my breakfast anymore. But a woman who's in survival mode, that's what she does because she doesn't know any other way and she doesn't want to lose what she's built. So I'm just becoming a woman who is not reactive to my life, but more proactive. I want to be more intentional and grounded and calm and structured and peaceful and clear and nourished and not rushing. Like those are my key words for 2026. So one of my new identity habits is I am the woman who has a slow, grounded, nourishing morning routine, even if it's only for 10 minutes. So no more chaos in the morning, no more letting the world touch me before I touch myself. No more pretending that I don't have time. No more lying to myself about what I can and cannot hold. And this is not about aesthetics either. It's about my nervous system. It's about the version of me that I'm stepping into and that I deserve to be. A couple more that I am thinking about for this reinvention challenge. So I had to admit that I was playing small in certain areas of my life. So even when everything that I've built, the agency, the audience, the podcast, the speaking, the digital products, even though I've built all of that, there's still areas where I've been playing small. Not because I didn't know what to do, but because I didn't want to disappoint anybody, or I didn't want to be misunderstood, or I didn't want to look like, oh my God, she's doing too much. She tries too hard. So I had to ask myself the question, why do you still shrink in the rooms that you're meant to lead? And that was a really good question that changed my thought process on all of this, because that tiny behavior is a mismatch for a big destiny. So one of my identity shifts for this challenge is I am the woman who will take up space without apologizing. And it's not because I want to outshine her, but it's because I want these things, and you have to go after what you want unapologetically. In practical terms, that means I'm going to ask for opportunities that I want. I'm not going to worry about hurting other people's feelings if I want an opportunity. I'm not going to dim my ambition. I'm going to pitch myself boldly for speaking gigs, teaching opportunities, all the things. I'm going to stop making myself smaller so people feel more comfortable around me. And I'm going to speak from my full voice, not the filtered one. So that might mean hopping on Instagram Reels and really being my full authentic self and not hiding something just because I don't know what people will say about me if I post it. Playing small isn't humility. It's honestly self-abandonment. And that's something that I keep reading. I've read that so many times this year, and I'm really learning about what self-abandonment is. And if that's something that you've never heard of, I highly encourage you to go look it up after this episode, because a lot of us do it. A lot of us abandon ourselves to make others happy. And that's just not the way we should roll. And that's not the kind of girl I'm trying to reinvent for 2026. So I'm done abandoning myself. This next one is really good. I let myself hold too much for too many people. I'm a helper. I'm a nurturer. I'm a shoulder for people to cry on. It's just how I'm wired. There will be days where my husband's like, oh my God, why is everyone texting you about their problems? And it's probably because like I've not had the boundaries to be like, hey, I cannot hold all of this right now. Please do not tell me your problems. Because I'm there and I really genuinely care for people and I never want people to feel bad. So I am such a good listener and shoulder to cry on. But, there were seasons where I was holding other people's emotions, businesses, expectations, crises like they were mine. And I finally realized I can't elevate if I'm carrying everything that's not mine. It is too heavy. It's going to hold me down. So another shift that I'm making in this 6 weeks is that I am the woman who protects her peace and energy like it's currency. Taylor Swift said something really, really valuable about this. And she was basically saying to think of your peace and energy as money and that people will try to take it from you, but it needs to be the most expensive thing that you own. And that is 1000% how I am going into 2026. I am the woman who protects my peace and my energy like it's currency. And what that means is no more picking up other people's emotional weight. No more saying yes when my body screams no. That's another thing I'm really bad at doing. No more self-sacrifice disguised as kindness. No more burning myself out to save others. No more letting guilt run my life. This version of me moves through her life much lighter, clearer, and more grounded. I have spent my whole childhood feeling guilty because I had divorced parents. I had parents with mental health issues, and I always felt crummy for, their reactions or how they would treat me. But I'm sick of fucking feeling bad for people when you get to decide how you want to live in life, how you want to treat people. It's not my problem to hold. So that is a huge one for me to release. And I know a lot of you can relate with that one. So that is a big one. The last one that I want to let go of is the version of me that's afraid to slow down. And this may or may not hit for some of you, but there's a version of me who equates slowing down with losing momentum and losing my whole business or my success. That version of me, she believed that taking care of herself meant risking growth. And that version of me thought that rest was weakness. But I had to admit to myself that the woman I'm becoming doesn't hustle for her worth. She doesn't sprint to prove something. She doesn't push from emptiness. She doesn't pour from an empty glass. She leads from fullness. So another identity shift for me is I'm the woman who prioritizes my wellness, my peace, and my presence because that is where my power is. This is the version of me who shows up sharper. She speaks clearer, she creates better, and she leads from overflow and not depletion. Okay, that's a lot of shifts. This is a lot of information for me to give you all on week 1 of our Reinvention challenge. But now that I've shared those shifts, now that you know what I'm personally working on, it is your turn because Reinvention is a partnership. You and me and the other girlies that are joining us side by side, changing our lives from the inside out together. So this next part, we're going to go into some journal prompts that will help ground everything that you've heard today, and then we'll wrap all of it up. So take a breath, let it settle. And when you're ready, we're going to move into part 5. All right. So part 5, got some journal prompts for you. So let's shift into the part of this episode where everything clicks. This is where we take all the emotion, all the truth, all the activation, and we're going to turn it into awareness because awareness is the doorway to reinvention. So grab your journal or open a note on your phone and just pause and reflect if you're driving. But I'm going to walk you through a few prompts and answer them honestly. Answer them without judging yourself. Answer them the way that you would as if a best friend were asking them. So the first one, the part of me I've been ignoring is, and I want you to say it and name it. Is it the confident version of you? Is it the creative version, the organized version, the bold version, the healthy version, the ambitious version, the calm version? There is no wrong answer for this one. There's only honesty, but write it down. The part of me I've been ignoring is. All right, next one is the woman I've been is. And remember, we're not judging her. We are thanking her. But who have you been this year, this month, this season? Honest answers sound like, oh, I've been tired. I've been surviving. I've been overwhelmed. I've been reactive. I've been unsure. I've been doubting myself too much. I've been carrying too much. I've been shrinking too much. Write it down. The woman I've been, has been, or is. Acknowledge it, speak it out. honesty. And then last one is the woman I'm becoming is, and this is where we're going to get powerful and this is where you're going to shift. Who is she? What does she value? What does she tolerate? How does she spend her mornings? What habits does she stand on? What energy does she lead with? How does she talk to herself? What does she say yes to? What does she say no to? How does she walk into the room? Don't overthink it. Just write it down and let her reveal herself to you. Okay, good job. Take a breath. Let everything you just wrote settle in your body. You didn't just answer some prompts. You just reintroduced yourself to yourself. And this is just the beginning. This is the doorway. This is the moment that we're pivoting your life. Reinvention isn't big, not dramatic. It's not perfect. It's small. It's quiet. It's sacred choices that feel like home. Today, you chose one, and that matters. In the final part of today's episode, I'm going to wrap this up with one powerful thought and then give you your week 1 challenge assignment inside of the Create Her Club. So take a breath, and when you're ready, last part. So we're going to land this together, right? I want you to remember something. A lot of women don't hear this enough, but reinvention doesn't require a new year. It requires a new identity. So we can start this at any time. This does not have to be for 2026. You could start it right now if you want. The woman you're becoming, she's already inside of you. You met her today, you wrote her down, you felt her wake up. Now all that's left is to lead yourself into her. And listen, you don't have to do this alone. We're doing this together for a full 6 weeks inside of the Create Her Club broadcast channel on my Call Her Creator Instagram page. That's where your accountability is. That's where your reminders are. That's where your breakthroughs will be. That's where you'll actually take action. So if you haven't joined yet, pause this episode right now and go tap into the Create Her Club. And then let's close out your challenge with your assignment. So for week 1's challenge assignment, I want you to share one thing, okay? Just one. And you're going to send this in the Create Her Club broadcast channel. And you can pick one or the other, okay? There's 2 prompts. First one is, the part of me I'm waking up again is, or you can answer, the woman I am becoming is. Pick the one that feels the most powerful for you, the one that feels emotional, truthful, alive, and share it inside of our channel. This is your first act of self-leadership. The first moment where you let yourself be seen again, the first moment where you stop hiding. And listen, you don't need to write a paragraph. I don't want a paragraph, actually. I need it to be short and sweet. It doesn't have to sound perfect. It doesn't need to impress anyone. You just need to be honest with all of us, because honesty is the foundation of identity. And identity is the foundation of reinvention. All right. If this episode moved you, please share it with a friend who needs it. And make sure you join our broadcast channel over on Call Her Creator Instagram account, Create Her Club. And I will see you inside of the challenge. I'll see you back here next week for week number 2. And that's going to be the routine that rebuilds you. Thanks so much for listening. And if you liked today's episode, please leave me a podcast review over on Apple Podcast or Spotify. All right. Thanks, guys.